So hello everyone, good morning. For those of you who are joining via the live stream, because that's all we've resorted to nowadays, I welcome you to our Dharma Wheel stretch practice. Because this class has been opened to many new people, for those of you who are familiar, who usually attend this class, of course, at certain points, if you know a few different movements you can do at home, feel free, this is your practice. For those of you who are new to the wheel, this is a basic introduction of how to use the wheel for stretch purposes. This is a class that we offer here every week at Soulfire Studios, so the variations are limitless. But let's just begin now in a comfortable seat, wherever you are. Hopefully you have your Dharma Yoga Wheel and plenty of room on either side of your mat, because there is a lot of movement as we continue. So slowly rolling the shoulders back and down, closing the eyes. Let's start with a few natural breaths in and out through the nose. Just as we take this time to settle before any of our yoga practices, using the wheel is no different. We really allow ourselves to tune into the body, to the sensations, and especially as we find that tensions in the neck, shoulders, and back often restrict our movement and postures. Using the Dharma Yoga Wheel is an excellent way to find awareness in your body for how to release these tensions. Just taking a few more moments to settle into your seat, finding a fullness in your breath and a calmness in your mind. And let's just remember that we're all here together during this practice. We'll start with 3 ohms. Breathing in to begin. Om. 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 Good. Let's continue. So from here, we'll start from our beginning, our starting position. Come to the very, very top of the mat. So not the middle of the mat, as if you're going to fall off the edge of the screen. Bring the wheel to the base of the spine. Really press the wheel into the lower back. Start to lift through the chest here and take a breath. Before we relax along the wheel, just remember we don't want to throw ourselves onto the wheel carelessly. Everything with slow, focused control. Take another breath in through the heart and just gently lean back over the wheel. Keep looking forward. Here you might feel the shoulders relax back. You can relax the hands. Now you're feeling supported by the wheel. We'll start with our warm-up with the upper back. So sweep the arms forward and overhead. Feel that natural breath in And the arms come forward and down. Just taking 2 more movements like this. Breathing in. Opening through the heart. Stretch through the arms. And the arms come forward and down. Just 1 more repetition here. And the arms come forward and down. So this is our starting position. I like to call this our lawn chair. We're just sitting upright, we're comfortable, supported by the wheel. So let's begin to warm up the upper back region. Reach the arms forward and overhead once again. So allow your chest to open as much as it feels comfortable. Maybe the arms come next to the ears or behind. Let's take Kali Mudra. Interlace the fingers and release the pointer fingers. Let the elbows remain straight. Take another breath here. The head is supported by the arms, so the arms are squeezing the head. And then from here, lift the hips and slowly start to rock and roll just between the shoulder blades. From the mid back to the upper back. As you continue to do this, if you find the arms get tired, you can bend the elbows and just hold the head. Feel that lengthening in the neck. And just allowing the pressure of the wheel to start massaging the back. So continue. Take a few movements at your own pace. Some days you might move more slowly. Some days more quickly. And here you can alternate between the arms overhead in Kali Mudra or the arms just holding the head, supporting the neck. Here the feet stay in the same position so you can use the strength of the legs just to move you back and forth. Take the last few rounds here. And when you're ready, bring the seat down to the mat so you can look forward and releasing the hands forward and down. We're coming into a side bend variation here. So the same, the wheel stays in the same spot. Reach the arms out and overhead, but continue to look forward. Again, taking Kali Mudra. On the exhalation, lean over to your left. You're pressing into both feet. Keep the balance. Back through center. And over to your right. And again, back through center. To the left. And back through center. To the right. And back through center. From here, slowly bringing the wheel back to the base of the spine, back to that comfortable seated position. That's the start. So once again, come back towards the top of the mat. And we'll go a little further this time. Again, we're focusing on warming up the upper back, neck, and shoulders. So same again, wheel to the base of the spine. Lifting the heart, just leaning back. So always feel that you have balance and support. You don't need the hands. You know exactly how it feels to be on the wheel. Go ahead, sweep the arms overhead. Open through the chest. And again, bring the hands into Kali Mudra. This time, lift the hips, rock and roll, and bring the wheel to the back of the neck. You see my knees go over the toes ever so slightly. And so the wheel can come to the back of the neck. So this next movement, keep the shape here, and you start to rock and roll behind the neck. And if it feels comfortable, You can, from here, take a full body stretch. Let the knees come forward. Really press the knees forward. And you can revisit parts of the mid-back. So let's take that full body stretch. Dig the heel into the mat and start to rock and roll. So the wheel comes to the back of the neck. You can stretch the arms. You can stretch the knees, the quads. And then you roll back. Go ahead. Take a few more movements here. Taking this full body stretch back and forth. You might start to feel the muscles of the back loosening now. You might just feel the sensation of the hamstring muscles pulling you back and forth. And you feel a nice opening in the front body. Good. Now from here, returning back to the lawn chair. So pressing the wheel into the lower back and come back up to seated. How are you feeling so far? Good? I hope. So let's move forward now. Come back to the top of the mat. And the same again, this time bring the wheel to the base of the spine. Finding your breath in, lean back over the wheel. And this time, let's just slide the wheel behind the head. So you just slide down and imagine you can rest the head on the wheel, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the neck. This is what I call the beach chair. So very comfortable. Finding your breaths here, you can close the eyes. Remember, sometimes we just need a little support to find more relaxation within ourselves. This next variation, again, we're going a little bit deeper now for the neck and shoulders. So when you're ready, sweep the arms forward and overhead. And the arms come out and down. You're opening up into the shoulders, forward and overhead. And the arms come out and down. One more repetition, forward and overhead. Arms out and down. So notice if there was any tightness in the chest and the shoulders. We're moving through those variations next. Reach the arms overhead. Here you have the option of keeping the hands separated, or once again in Kali Mudra. This variation, the head stays on the wheel. So let the head roll back. You will start to go backwards. So go super slow if you need to. Here as you rock and roll, the head relaxes, the arms stay overhead. If the hands are together or separated, maybe just the fingertips touch the mat. But you might start to feel the sensation of massaging the muscles of the shoulders. So continue here. Maybe notice the difference from one side to the next. Try not to lean too far over to any one side so that you don't lose balance. But here we even allow the head and neck to relax back. This is giving us a little traction, a little release from any forward folding of the neck. That often happens by looking at technology, phones, computers. Again, sometimes you might even have the arms loose and relaxed just to feel massaging between and underneath the shoulder blade regions. So just continue here for about 3 to 5 more movements. This is a very personal experience. So by all means, listen to what feels good for your body as you warm up through the shoulders and the neck. Just taking the last few rounds here. And when you're ready to release this variation, very slowly return back to the beach chair. So just bring the seat down, let the hands come down along the sides, and the head is supported by the wheel. Just one more breath here. Now from here, reach the arms out, bend the elbows, and here just hold on to the back of the head. You want to support the head and neck. Press into the feet, let the wheel roll back to the seated position so you can come upright. Good. So here we're really going to tackle some of the areas. Oftentimes we do a lot of hunching. So if we're on the computer a lot, which lately we might be, we want to make sure that we can realign the spine with support by the wheel. So when you're ready, the wheel comes to the base of the spine. Once again, take that full breath for that lawn chair. Lean over the wheel. Let those shoulders peel back, maybe noticing a difference already. And when you're ready, sweep the arms overhead. Again, the spine lengthening, even up through the fingertips. Now, find your breath here. Open the chest and just lean back as much as you feel you're able to. You might even find that the wheel moves slightly up or down. If you can find that hunch portion of the back, you'll know. And we're just holding here. So close the eyes, find some endurance, find some strength, and breathe steadily here for about 5 to 8 breaths. So really listen to where you want to bring this pressure into the curve of your back. Breathing now. One more breath. Now be very aware. Notice if you want to bend the elbows, if the arms are tired, just again holding the back of the head. And let's bring some movement now. Right in that area. It might feel really strange. So breathe deeply as you start to wash the blood through the muscles in those areas of stagnation, really. And again, let's revisit some of the movements we've done so far. So you can have the arms overhead or holding the head. Go ahead, take a full body stretch. You can have the knees go beyond the toes, really stretching a little further if that's comfortable. And just notice where you've gone here. Remember, anytime you need to reset yourself, you just reset. You sit forward and make sure you have balance and no lumps in the mat. So go ahead, taking the last 2 full body stretches here. And next, coming into our lumbar release. Let the arms come out and down along the sides. Let the wheel come to the natural curve of the back and relax the head back. Maybe the top of the head comes to the mat. Maybe not, but letting everything just release. Finding full breaths here. This is a passive variation. Once we really warm up the muscles of the back, the next stage I like to focus on is the release, the surrender, the passive. Take about 3 more breaths here. Maybe feeling again traction in the neck or shoulders. Maybe release in the lower back. If there's sensitivity in the lower back, you're very welcome to bend the knees. And now slowly, just so you're aware how to remove yourself from the postures. Press into the feet, the heels, keep the upper half relaxed. Imagine you could roll the wheel from the bottom to the top. Let's come back to our beach chair, just sitting down, letting the head and neck be supported by the wheel. And the hands are down along the sides. Eyes can remain closed or very still, taking 3 breaths here. Good. Now let's go further. So we're continuing the upper and mid back regions now, just 1 step further. So reach the arms forward and overhead. Again, the back of the neck is remaining on the wheel. Bend the elbows, so it's almost like you're slicking your hair back. If you have a hair tie right in the back of the neck, you also might want to move it. So bending the elbows, holding the wheel just behind the head. If you have more flexibility in the arms and the shoulders, you might walk the hands further up the wheel straight away. Otherwise, just work with it. Make sure here that you can see both elbows instead of having the elbows come out to the sides. Both elbows facing forward. And when you're ready, press into the feet. And the same again. Allow yourself to roll over the wheel. And maybe the elbows come towards the mat. They don't have to touch, but this is the movement. Rolling over the wheel. Maybe the elbows touch, maybe the legs really straighten, and bringing yourself back. So continue here to press up and over. This is a reverse forearm plank variation. And here you can feel the pressure in the back of the chest, the arms, and the triceps. Continue. 3 more times. And again, anytime you need to take a break, if it's too tense for the arms or the shoulders, you can just relax the arms down. If it feels okay and you want to continue, go ahead, bringing the forearms down towards the mat and remaining here in that reverse forearm plank. The next variation, you can bend the knees, Make sure you keep the balance here. And if it feels okay, you can either stay here or start to lift the hips up and then lower them down towards the wheel. Again, lifting the hips up and down. Taking about 3 more. And then when you're ready, start to release the hands and bringing yourself back into that supported seat, the beach chair. The arms come forward and down. Go next variation, going even further. So starting to bring ourselves to the base of the spine using the wheel. So come back to that comfortable seat, that starting position, and let's revisit all the movements we've done so far and really working our way down towards the body, the lower part of the body. Go ahead, sweep the arms overhead, Kali Mudra or holding the head. Go ahead, take a full body roll. Notice where you've gone. Notice any release you've achieved. And letting the arms come out and down. Come into that lumbar release, so the wheel right into the lower back region. And here, let's prepare through the shoulders. So interlace the fingers behind the back and start to squeeze the shoulders back, open through the chest. This is a gravity-assisted locust pose. Next, from here, release the hands. Be aware if you want to use the hands to lengthen the neck, just bring the hands behind the head. Start to look towards the chest. So chin towards the chest, looking forward. And here, coming into a supported bridge pose. So the wheel to the base of the spine now. Getting the shoulders down to the mat. Don't worry if the toes don't touch the mat. See if you can really get the shoulders down, because this is your base. And here you can either hold on to the wheel, or you can interlace your fingers either inside or outside the wheel. So take the first few moments here just to tune into the sensation. Good. Make sure you have a strong and comfortable base. And when you're ready, lifting the legs straight up together, supported shoulder stand. From here, keep the legs nice and straight. Open the legs wide. Point and flex the toes. You can rotate through the ankles. And now imagine you have a big hoop between the legs. So pointing the toes and draw the left toes to the top of the hoop and the right toes to the bottom of the hoop. Legs can come out and around. The same again, the right toes to the top, the left toes to the bottom. We're activating the legs here, all the muscles from the hips downwards. So continue to make these big circles, semicircles with each leg. Taking the last few movements here, becoming aware of any sensations in the hips. You might hear some crunching. This is usually just really tight tendons, really thick tendons, strong tendons. We're just bringing some friction to these areas. Make sure you're even on both sides. And when you're ready, bending that right knee towards the chest, pointing the left toes away from you. Same as before, you open the knees wide this time, and the left knee comes towards you, and the right leg extends. Just feel a charge, feel a stretch in that right leg and the front hip flexor. And then again, open the knees wide, right knee bends towards the face, the left leg extends. Open the knees wide, the left knee bends, the right extends. So you can continue this movement, sometimes slower or faster, depending on how it feels today. So just go ahead, take a few more rounds. Good. And again, make sure you keep it even on both sides as much as you're able to. And from here, once again, open the knees wide, extending the legs straight up. And from here, slowly draw the legs down towards the bottom of that circle. Bring the legs together and then forward and up. Open the legs. Draw them down towards the bottom of the hoop, together and up. And again, open, down, together and up. Two more, open, down, together and up. And again. Good. This time, open the legs, draw them down towards the bottom of the circle, almost together, and then bend the knees. See if you can find the mat this time. Maybe the feet find it easy to become flat. You can feel your supported bridge pose. Again, if the arms are tired, you can release the fingers. You can continue to hold the wheel. But take a moment here to close the eyes and just tune into the sensation. Good. You might feel quite a bit of intensity in the hip and lower back region. So let's slowly release comfortably. Now, without rolling, usually from the bottom to the top at this stage, hold on to the wheel or interlace the fingers. Keep the shoulders on the mat. Lift the legs back up into your supported shoulder stand. Again, if there's a little bit of discomfort, you can always lift the hips and replace them down. But let's come next into plow pose. Legs come overhead. And of course, you can bend the knees, just let them hang if that's more comfortable, but keep the wheel nearby. Again, remaining in your plow pose. Eyes can be closed. This is your first forward fold of the practice. Of course, you're very welcome to pedal the legs, finding some movement here, but just keeping the neck absolutely straight. And just taking the last 3 breaths here. Now to release plow pose, this is a wonderful addition with the wheel. Keep the wheel touching the back, but start to move the wheel about 2 inches away from you at a time. Find the pressure of the back on the wheel, totally supported with the legs overhead. Breathe between each movement. Bring the wheel 2 inches further away, again, pressing the back onto the wheel. Taking a breath. The wheel moves another 2 inches away. It's moving down along the spine. Remember, we're creating traction, some length for the spine. And again, another 2 inches away. The wheel moving towards the lower back and the sacral region. And keep going. Here you go at your own pace. Sometimes if there's compression in the lower back, you can keep the wheel right at the base of the spine. You just remain there. Natural pull. Of course, the knees can be straight or bent as you continue to lower yourself down with total support. Again, moving the wheel a little further away, depending on how long your spine is. It might take longer. Maybe coming all the way down. Now, when the lower back hits the mat, just relax the feet on the wheel. Take a moment here, neutralize the spine. Let the arms come down along the sides. And you can even move the feet on the wheel. You can roll the wheel forward and backwards. Now this next variation is really effective. It takes a little bit of patience. So it's best to do at the end of a practice. So today we'll just go right ahead because we're lying down, extending the left leg onto the wheel and letting the wheel touch the calf muscle. So you might not feel much pressure, but you can cross the right leg over the left. Now stay with it here. Again, it might take some time to feel pressure in the right area. What you can do is start to bend the knee ever so slightly. Find a mini movement, a mini massage for that left calf muscle. So go ahead, have a few movements here. You can always adjust where the wheel is touching the leg. You can rotate the angle of the leg slightly inwards or outwards, really to explore the calf muscle on that left leg. So when you find an area, maybe where you felt tightness or any sensation, see if you can pause there now with the weight of the top leg pressing down. Again, finding the breath here. Notice how the rest of the body is feeling. After all these movements, this self-massage. Just taking the last few breaths here. And finding patience. Going into the subtle sensations of the body. And then slowly finding a gentle movement and switching sides. So bringing the right calf onto the wheel. Again, noticing if you want to take some movements to see if there's an area that could use a little pressure. And then you cross the top leg over the bottom. Again, it takes a moment to really settle into this sensation. So let's find our patience, finding our breath. Again, of course, if you'd like to continually just take some micro movements of the leg, and finding some massage on that calf muscle. You can even, again, turn the legs slightly inwards or outwards to change the area. Even though this is usually quite gentle to begin with, when you give yourself the time, you realize that it's often quite difficult to maybe massage your own calf muscles or in such a gentle way, in such a passive way, without straining the hands. So it just requires a little focus to gain the technique. Then you can really give yourself a beautiful calf massage and realize that this might be a part of your body that you rarely pay attention to. Just continue here, whether in movement or stillness. And just taking the last few rounds of breath here. Good. Slowly, when you're ready, you can begin bringing the feet to the wheel, bending the elbows at your sides like cactus arms, and just bringing the knees towards the chest. On the exhalation, draw the knees over to your left side for your spinal twist. Notice how it feels. Try to keep both shoulders along the mat if you're able to. Opening through the chest. Maybe the gaze falls over to the right. And spinal twists are really helping to neutralize all the movements we've done to reset the spinal muscles. And slowly bringing the gaze and the knees back through center. And the same on the other side. On the exhalation, drop the knees over to your right. Again, aiming for the shoulders to be resting along the mat. Maybe the gaze falls to the left. Good, and then slowly bring the gaze and the knees back through center. Being very mindful that we've just done some very intense stretches for the back. So the best way to sit up is with slow control. Drop the knees to the left side and rest on the left side completely. You might even rest your head on the arm. And rather than sitting up really quickly with any jerking movements, you press the top hand down, usually extending that top leg back as if you're peeling yourself all the way back up to a comfortable seat. So wherever you are, returning to your comfortable seated position. Any cross-legged, notice how you feel. And for our final stretching posture, bring the wheel now in front of you. Taking the left foot, flexing the toes, and bringing it onto the wheel. The right leg can stay bent. You can also extend the leg if that's more comfortable. Here we're opening through the hips. So just take a few movements, pulling the wheel close and further away from you. Notice any sensations you have in that left hip. And from when you feel a comfortable sensation, hold on to the wheel, lift through the chest here. And you can stay upright, or if it's comfortable, walk the hands to the outside edge of the wheel and relaxing the head here. Very slowly starting to bring yourself back up. Notice where you've gone, where you felt sensation. If you want to take movement once again, let's prepare for the second side. Folding that left knee while keeping it extended and flexing the right foot. Bring the outside edge of the foot onto the wheel. And the same again, finding a little movement to see where it feels comfortable. Lift through the heart, pulling gently on the wheel. And either staying upright or start to lead the heart forward, grabbing towards the outer edge of the wheel and relaxing the head towards the foot. And again, slowly bringing yourself back up through center, taking some movements. Notice where you've gone here. And here you can find yourself back into your comfortable cross-legged position, wherever you are. Keeping the spine straight. Again, really relaxing the shoulders back and down, the palms face up on the knees or thighs, taking Jnana Mudra. That's part of your practice. Let's close the eyes. Finishing this morning's practice with a meditation. May we continue to take time to find stillness, to breathe, to care for our physical body and mind, because they are interconnected. When we move, let us enjoy sunlight and fresh air. And let us also feel that good sensation, what happens inside the body when we stretch, massage, move in a way that's healthy. May we continue to practice yoga and keep ourselves fit through an active lifestyle, knowing that this helps us to live this life more fully, with mental clarity and a peace within our heart that's unshakable. Thank you so much for sharing in this morning's Dharma Wheel stretch practice. There are many more to come. Have a beautiful rest of the day, filled with lightness of being. In the words of Sri Dharma, be receptive. Namaste.